Welcome to Built for This, the podcast where purpose meets performance. Hosted by business strategist and human behavior specialist Carly Pepin, this show dives into the real stories behind high-growth businesses. Let's bring life to your vision.
Okay.
So thank you guys for coming today. I'm really looking forward to this one. We're talking to Claudio Ulrich today, and he has a film distribution company, Focus Media. And what we're going to dive into is we're going to understand how this works, because we get to see things on movie screens, on TV, we get to see them in stores, but we don't actually know what happens on the back end of the business dynamic on how it gets from the movie production companies to us. So this will be really fun. With over 30 years in the film industry, Claudio Ulrich is a seasoned distributor and licensing expert specializing in television and home video rights. His company, Multimedia Ulrich, has built a strong reputation across Europe for acquiring and releasing iconic films across physical media formats. In 2015, Claudio launched Focus Media, a dedicated home video label known for its collector quality media books and amores. Through Focus Media, he has released acclaimed titles such as The Running Man, Cujo, Creepshow 1 and 2, and the Children of the Corn trilogy, among many others. Claudio began his career in the 1980s working with major studios including Warner Brothers, Columbia Pictures, Disney, MGM, Embassy, and Sony Pictures during the pioneering era of VHS. In 1992, he attended his first American film market, AFM, where he began independently acquiring film licenses, a passion that would grow into a full-time business and career. Today, Claudio continues to champion the restoration and physical releases of cult classics, helping preserve genre cinema for future generations of collectors and fans. So welcome, Claudio. Thank you so much for coming today.
Welcome.
Yeah. And I'm excited for this one. We actually met because Claudio is actually distributing some of my dad's old films from PM Entertainment, which are definitely some cult classics. Definitely some
Yeah.
really cool action films. And when I found out more about what he was doing, I was like, you got to come on the show. So yeah, tell us a little bit more about what film distribution looks like on the back end.
First of all, the distribution is the smallest part. That means I have somebody that make the distribution. I don't make the distribution because you have to still have a storage and everything. My job was all the time when I started that I buy licensee from companies like PM or some other companies. And I take in the beginning, I was like not interested in distribution. So my first thing was to buy licensing and reselling the licensing to German video suppliers. So that was the point what I did in the beginning of my business career with the movies. But this was not enough. I was, how I can explain you. Since I'm a kid, movies was really important for me. And all my thinking was, I have to go closer to the movies I could, so close I can. Clear, I cannot be a producer or something like that when I was young. So then I started with buying in 1992 to buy licensing and then to reselling to German video supplier. And this is working until 2011. And then I stopped. I had 2 little burnouts. I worked too much. And then I stopped until 2015. And then a friend of mine says, come on, we are old guys now. Let's do it again. I say, what do you mean with let's do it again? And he says, come on, we know everyone in this business. Let's start with a little distribution. I make a distribution and you get you go to your contacts and buying licenses. So we did that, and I had a good friend. It's a producer that he made a lot of movies. The company is still existing, and it's called Moonstone Entertainment. And I try to go there and ask, have you some licensing for me? And he say, yes, I have 10 movies left over, so if you like, you can do that. So we bought these licenses and we start to create our own label, this Focus Media. And the most of the people don't know how much is behind. You have to you see the end product. The people see that in the television, the movie, they see the store, the MRAs, the Blu-rays, and everything. But to build a movie, you have a clear. We bought English tracks, so the movies are in English, and we have to do it in German. So we had in the past, we create also the German tracks if they don't existing. And this, when it's a re-release, that means the movie was released already in Germany, and we bought it for our distribution. So we take this German track and we use this German track. And slowly, we made 20, 30 movies. That was the beginning of the idea of a distribution. Today, to understand the distribution, today what we do today is totally different. We have a big distributor in Germany, but the changing from the 2015 to now is that I produce everything. That means the distributor today is something else that he wants to work with us together, but I do the cover designs. I make the restoring. So I'm responsible for the whole product until it's on the disc. So still clear, I'm a distributor, but on the back, I'm still the licensee buyer, what I like to do. And yes, that's the point from the distributor. And that is a little bit, the people don't see the background until a product is finished. It's beginning with the script, then you make the movie, then you shoot the movie, then you cut the movie, you make music, then you try to, and and that's what your dad do.
Yeah.
Your
There's a
dad,
lot.
they did a lot of the movies, and this is hard work. So it's a collaboration with the licensee holder and somebody like me. And not everyone has a distribution. Today is a little bit after all these things what happened in the business. The little companies can make a distribution. They bought a licensee. You go to somebody, and they are specialists. They make the authoring. I cannot do that. That is something that I cannot do because this is a technical thing. To make the menu, how looks the disc when you put it in your player, and you see the menu and you can choose everything. This is something else. In a friend of mine that do that for me. He do that for all big companies. And
I'm curious too, because when we think about like film distribution, I imagine it's changed a lot. Because there was a day when all of us, we were all VHS, and then I remember when Laserdisc came out for a while, we were Laserdisc, and then we're DVDs, and now we're Blu-rays. Honestly, I haven't even heard of Amarays. I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't even heard of Amarays yet. But
MFA is a packaging.
it's the packaging. Okay.
Now the keep case, what you see, the plastic, the blue box.
Yes, that's
This
the packaging.
and the packaging, the plastic, that's why we say here in Europe, we say Emery, but this is because the company was built, this packaging was called Amaray.
Ah, that makes sense. Okay.
But
I was like, I don't even know what an Amaray is. So we're still on Blu-ray then. Okay.
yeah.
So with that transition, and then in addition, we have so many things online, right? With all the different online movie providers, how has that changed the way that your company operates?
So the big change, let's starting on the VGS. VGS starting in the beginning 90s, they became huge. And go back to your father. The PM company was a direct-to-video company. So that means they shot in 35 millimeters, like all the big studios do also. But almost of the movies had never a theatrical release.
Mm-hmm.
So then the way it was that your father and PM have sold to a distributor in America the rights to make a VHS. And so they go in the store. Then I remember that it's starting like clear that a company like PM or a bigger company, they are thinking, why we don't do it ourselves, the distribution. We have everything, or we can copies, and then we make our own distribution. So the whole money stays in one house. So this was the starting of the little distributions. And in America, you have the Blockbuster, that was the big one in video. And then let's say it was 87 or something. I had a reunion with the president of Warner Brothers from the home video. I built up with colleagues for Warner Brothers in a Swiss company, the video stores, the rental, what Warner Brothers make in Europe. And by the dinner, he talked about, he showed me a CD, a music CD. And he says, that's the future. And I say, what you mean that's the future? And he says, we're working on it, that we can put a movie on a disc. At the moment, the problem is to shrink the movie in a way that the quality is acceptable. But they work on it. This was the first contact with this idea of DVD. And DVD, he never never say the word DVD, because this is a short. It's called digital Versalite disc. I never heard about something like that. And then this couple of years, still we sell this VHS stuff, and we make distribution on VHS. And today when I see a VHS from the past, I must say, wow, how we could look a movie on this bad quality. But
We loved it. Yeah.
you remember, your television was not in this quality.
No.
The recorder was not in this quality, and also the disc was not in the quality. So it was exciting to see all these movies. But video or VHS break down after the DVD is coming. Problem was, after a while, here in Europe, I don't know what's happening in America, but here the distributor starting to make the DVDs cheap. You can imagine when we made VHS in the distribution, it was $200 a movie. And then comes up a DVD, and the DVD was $50. It's quite a lot of money. And so, but after a while, they made so much money on DVDs and so quick releases. So the price on this in the distribution was break down. So it was, have no the value anymore. And then came Blu-ray. The same has happened to the Blu-ray. Today we have 4K. Close we will have 8K, 16K. I see some movies on they produce in 16K. So that is a changing from the VHS, what was Yeah, the name of the VGS was cool, like home video,
Yeah.
it's what you did at home. And everybody was exciting to go to the video store and get a new movie. And he saw it in the cinema already, but he get it at home. He can watch it with friends
Mhm.
and good. And this is today, the distribution is totally different because we have a lot of other things like television. We have the television starting to buy in the 90s more and more movies.
Mhm.
Before it was, not 24 hours a television here in Europe. And so that have changed also the distribution of the hardware. You may at the VGS. So that means you was able to go to the store and buy your favorite movie or rental your favorite movie. And that have changed everything.
Mhm.
The television go down, but the video store have made a lot of money with all these rentals. And interesting is, but we don't think at the moment when this is in the 90s or 2000s that it's coming up the VOD.
Mhm.
When you see today, you can it's big like Netflix. Clear, Netflix produced almost also her own movies. But on the beginning, they buy the old one to build
Mhm.
a channel. And today are so many, many channels. So, but they thank God it's people that still like to have physical in product in the hand.
Mhm.
So after a while, we create these media books. This is not existing, not so like we do it in Europe. You have to see a media book is something not new. It's only like a little book. You have the Blu-ray and a DVD inside, and you have a booklet. In the booklet, you talk about the movie, about the producer, about the actors, some behind the scenes. So there's a total different product today to
Hmm.
see when you think on DVD, VHS, you have more possibility to do, and you have a big market with fans.
Mhm.
So now they are collectors. They buy that and they put it in a shelf like books.
Mhm.
That is the difference what's happened with the distribution from the beginning to give the people a movie. They can watch it at home. They don't have to leave the house on the evening for going in theatrical to going to a product that now have the sentence for collectors. They collect
Yeah.
covers. They collect. I can say that in VHS there was never a possibility that you have 4 covers of the same movie.
Yeah.
Today we have on media books we have 5, 6 covers, and the fans in the distribution they go and ask when come that and so and then buy 2 times 6 covers.
Hmm.
And sometimes I ask, why the hell the people buy, let's say, only when you have 3 covers, 2 times the same thing? And when you ask a colleague, yeah, one is for the shelf and one is to watch. Then I say, but why then all 3?
Mhm.
Because in all 3 is the same. You have only different covers. So you collect one and one, you buy one to look. No, this is changing in the distribution today. That we living not from the mass of buyers,
Mhm.
so we live of the collectors.
Hmm.
That's the difference today.
That's really cool. That's really cool. And that's really cool. Makes sense. I mean, I still am a book junkie. Sometimes I think, especially every time I move, I pack all these boxes. We have thousands of books at this point. And I think to myself, I should really just start putting things on a Kindle. But I do love the physical copies, so I can see how that still happens with movies as well. Hey everyone, it's Carly. If you're really resonating with what we're talking about and want to get clear on what truly drives you, what your core values are, head on over to my website. In the tools and tips section, there is a free values assessment. And this is a quick exercise that's going to help you to uncover what actually matters most with you so you can lead and live with more clarity, fulfillment, and momentum. And I'm curious too, because is the media book something that you guys came up with? Is it something that was already out there that you expanded on?
No, that was a friend of mine, a couple of years, had the idea
Yeah.
to make something different. And the idea came up from, when you have a book, let's say you have a Stephen King book. So there's a hard copy, there's a big book. And then the second release of a book is a little book.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how it called in English, the little one.
We usually get the paperbacks. We get the hardcovers for like the first releases and then the paperbacks for the next releases. Yeah.
And the paperback was the idea
Mm-hmm.
for the media book. The paperback is really the idea, what he say, wow, that could be a funny thing. And it looks like a paperback book.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. And you have the nice cover design. You have inside this booklet what you can, the fan, they don't want to see only the movie.
Mm-hmm.
They want to have back information about the movie, or from the actor, from the producer, from the cameraman. And the special is also what starting then, they start with bonus material. That was the big difference.
Mm.
On the first Blu-rays, nobody talk about an interview from a star or a cameraman or a producer. But with the media books, they start also this kind of more quality to give to the audience, that they have a nice booklet, they have interviews with the stars, behind the scenes, poster galleries, picture galleries, you can put everything on that. But this have changed when the Blu-ray is coming bigger. On the beginning it was only 25 gigabyte, now you have 50 gigabytes, so you have more space and the quality is good. So that is the changing, and he went that late 2000s, I think in 2007 or 6 they started with that. And today we make we release all movies in these media books.
That's really amazing. I think what's really amazing about this too is because technically this was a dying industry, so it sounds like you guys made a really smart pivot to be able to continue to do what you love.
Yeah.
That's a big pivot.
And let's talk it now by PM. For me is interesting that PM, I'm a collector. Me too. I collecting since I was 1992 on the AFM. I collecting all the brochures and flyers from movies. So I have a bunch of PM, clear. And this was also always a hard thing for me because this was my starting, in the business.
Mm-hmm.
And now I have the possibility to work on these cover designs, what PM made it in the past. And we use the old material from the 90s as cover designs, and sometimes we build new ones with a painter. Because this is something different, the people like that. But until it's coming today, this media book, I think it's when you think like VHS is like that.
Mm-hmm.
Starting of the VHS, it's coming with these media books. Then the collectors have something in their hand, not only this little plastic box. No, they have something. And they are, when you go to Amazon and you see some movies that are rare, they pay a bunch of money on it,
Mhm.
over $100, $200, you know, because this is something that the people collect.
Yeah.
It's only the movie, you know. And so he went that and he created with a company in Serbia, a French guy that had a company in Serbia. So they built the first ones of these media books. And today, every company make these media books.
Mhm. That's very cool. I'm curious as well, how do you select what movies you're going to use? Like, is it because you mentioned you love film, you're also a collector in a sense. Is it based on your knowledge and information? Is it sometimes based on other people sharing with you, like, this is a great classic?
Yes,
Mhm.
that's both of them,
Both.
because you can imagine, as I say, that since a kid, I was a fan of movies. So I can tell you a story that my mom, we had a program every Sunday, 10 minutes of cartoon.
Mhm.
And my mom says to me, "Hey, you can come, you can see the cartoon." And she told me that since I was a little, I was always saying, I don't want to see dead people. I want to see real people. So I never looked cartoons. No Disney, no Jungle Book, no Snow White, nothing. This was not something that uh, take me in. So I prefer movies. And so clear, as I'm a fan of movies, I worked for a lot of companies like Warner and all this. I had in, you can imagine I have thousands of movies in my head.
Mhm.
So when I started then in '92, I had a background. And so I found movies that I like in the beginning. Clear, I cannot buy a movie from Warner Brothers or something like that because they are too expensive. So then I choose the smaller production companies. Clear, you go
Mhm.
the way that you can do.
Yeah.
So I started with little films. My first movie was a Stephen King movie.
Mm.
I paid $25,000, and this was made by students, film students. And one of the story was The Night of the Crow from Stephen King, the short story. And this was the story of Children of the Corn.
Yeah.
But product was The Night of the Crow. But this was 5 little 10 minutes movies that students make. And Stephen King made or helped them students to make this movie. So this was my first movie I bought myself.
Mhm.
And then it's coming up, you learn more, people know, and you go in research, who have produced the movie, let's do that. And so you get more and more movies. And the difference today is I stopped in 2011.
Mhm.
I say I don't do it again. And then it's happened in 2015. And clear we get classics, old horror movies that was not existing in Blu-ray. And we get the Blu-ray material and we starting to make Blu-rays.
Mhm.
And today I work with a big company in America, one of the biggest VOD company. And they have also a lot of classics.
Mm.
And clear. This is like, it's like you go in a toy store and you see all this stuff, you know, and clear. I start then with the guys and I make a lot of classic movies like Ticks. Then we made The Howlings. Then we made Maniac Cop. All this you have to know. Also, this is interesting to say that in this business, in the distribution, the most value have horror movies.
I had
Horror,
no idea, by the way.
this is interesting. you have to imagine you can make 10 action movies. You must have the best action movies ever to make a big business.
Uh-huh.
You have a good horror movie that's huge.
That's amazing. I had no clue. No clue.
I believe because I'm not a horror fan, you know.
Same. Yeah. Same.
No, I don't tell you something, but no, I hear that. On Christmas time, I look all these stupid Christmas love movies.
Yeah.
I don't know
They're
why.
everywhere.
I don't know. You can look 10 of them and they are all the same.
They're all over that. They're all the same plot. Someone's gonna fall in love. There's gonna be some sort of, I don't know, misperception or miscommunication. They're all the
You
same.
know,
Yeah.
they are all the same. And
It's like
my
a cookie
wife
cutter.
and my wife look at me sometime. That's really what you're doing? I say, I have to watch all of them.
Yeah.
And
For
this is,
work.
yeah, but you know, I have learned a little bit about why I do that. This is so different from the other stuff what I do.
Yeah.
I can sit there and watching, no thinking. I can close my brain. I watch, okay. But an action movie, uh, you know, an action movie has to pack you.
Yeah.
A love story, yeah, I don't know. It's a love story.
Yeah.
Okay, it's funny to see it. It's wonderful. But an action movie has to be clear on the beginning, the middle, and the end. It's clear what must happen. Clear. In the love movies, the same. They know each other. They come together. They fighting. They're leaving. They came together on the end and married.
Yep.
Boom. Ah, this is a secret. What you hear now that I watch some movies like that. But you know, that's the point. When you say where you found the movies, sometimes, because I say both way, that means I know a lot of movies,
Mhm.
a lot of possibilities to know what is happened in the 90s, in the 2000s,
Mhm.
go back until the 80s. And sometimes you have a friend or somebody, a fan, that say, wow, that's a cool movie.
Mhm.
I try to get the license. Then I check it and I say, oh, wow, it's a good movie, yes. And then you try to go to the producer. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's difficult. Sometimes the producer is passed away. Nobody knows who have the rights of the movie.
Mhm.
And this is also what the audience don't understand. What everything is in the back to get a movie there where it is then on the disc.
Mhm.
America is easier because it's the language. The movies are made in English. We have a problem when the movie was never released in Germany.
Mhm.
No track, and
Mhm.
the track sometime today costs more money than the licensing.
Oh, wow.
That you have to you have to think on it. That yes, you have movies you can buy for $1,000. This
Mhm.
is B and C movies and not the workable. But then it's growing up until you can buy a movie for 200,000, 500,000 with all rights. That's that is what the people don't see it.
Mhm.
Sometimes they say, "Oh, this is so expensive to buy a media book," but they don't see what is in the back.
Yeah.
And this is a problem sometimes. I think this is in every business so that the people cannot see everything.
There's so much that goes on the back end to get, any product delivered, and we don't realize how I mean, even the paint on my wall had to go through government approval to a certain degree, like, it's insane, and that's just one component. We don't really think about it, and then we complain about the price, when in reality, it's probably a pretty good price.
You know, you see, as
Mm.
distribution of movie is not a difference to sell books
Yeah.
of tomatoes. It's always something behind.
Yeah.
That's it. And to make a movie, what we talked before, it's you have to have the idea. You have to have a story that works. You have somebody that write the books.
Hmm.
Then you have somebody they cut the movie, somebody that shoot the movie. Then you need somebody that make the stunts in a movie. Then you need the actors. So
That's a lot.
it's a lot.
Yeah. And it's got to be a movie someone wants. Someone was talking to me recently because they had made a movie and they were looking for investment for another movie. They were asking my opinion because, my dad does what he does. And I was like, well, what did you make on the last movie? And they're like, nothing. And I was like, well, you're not going to get an investment. Nobody wants to invest so you can make a movie for fun. Like, that's a big part too, is like, what does the market want? I had no idea the market loves horror, by the way. So for those of you wanting to make a movie, maybe a horror film might be in your future. But yeah, like having a market demand for it is really important.
Yeah, and to invest money in a movie, that is a big risk.
Yeah.
It's like it's a lottery.
Yeah.
When you're not sometimes they start with a movie in 2000 and they finished in 2008 because they have no money to the movie is gone. So nobody in 2008, maybe the story is not, they have changed a lot in these years.
Yeah.
That's
Wild.
that is really a strange thing. So, but I don't see me as what you say as a distributor. I
Yeah.
let distribute my product. That's all. I don't care about the distribution. I'm happy when they sell a lot, but I'm here. I'm in my office. I create. That's what I like to do. So that's why I give it away. So I don't want to say I'm a distributor. I'm a film a film releasing film lover.
Yeah.
Something
Well,
like
I think what's really cool, I mean, technically you have this business, but it's like you don't want to leave it. You don't want to give it up because you love what you do so much, And I try to share that with people a lot, how important it is to love what you do. And you're living proof. You went from closing a business, being burnout, to just sitting here today saying, no, I love film. I love creating the film. I love bringing it to the world. And it
yes.
then doesn't have to be a job every day. It becomes almost like a mission, right? Like you're making sure that these films stand the test of time. Yeah, it becomes something different, something really meaningful and purposeful. I
But
love
you
that.
have, you know,
Hmm.
you don't have to go away, far away. You have it in your home.
Yeah.
You have it in your home.
Yeah.
I know your father only a short time, but I know the story about Joseph and your father. All what they have want to do is movies.
Yeah.
That
They
was the
loved it.
and this was never. I Your dad told me that it was a hard work to make these years. It's a hard work. Yes, it is. But he do it for himself.
Mhm.
And you clear. It's the same situation when I bought my first movies. I start after I was married and I have a little boy. And my wife, my ex-wife, pushed me to do it myself and not work anymore for somebody else. And she say always, you can do it. You don't have to become
Mhm.
famous or it's not to be famous or to be rich. On the end, is satisfy what you really do. You do it for yourself. And this is something so rich, so rich
Yeah.
that no money can
We
bring
can't
you
replace it.
all
The
them.
and the craziest thing, which I think people don't realize, is when you do that, like you wind up making more money than you ever imagined you would because you're so inspired by what you do every day. Like it's different. It just doesn't feel like you have to or you're supposed to. Like you just love it. So it's funny. It's like the money follows. And so if we're following money first, it doesn't work. It's very rare that it works that way. Where it's like, but if you follow what you love first and then provide products and services, then the money follows because people
Yeah,
are invested.
yeah, but uh, the money comes because you make something right
Yeah.
and not because you're forced to make money. I don't
Mhm.
believe that.
Yeah.
And today, today I'm close 70. So, and I don't do it for money. Never. I, I, to my wife now I say, I want to have fun. I make this distribution clear. It's clear that it's not only sunshine. You have to work with the distributor. You have to talk with the production company where they build the media. So you are involved in something. But I tell you, in the morning, every morning when I wake up, I don't work.
Mhm.
I go have coffee with my friends. We laugh, we talk, and in the afternoon I work.
Mhm.
I work more in the evening than today because I like to do it.
Mhm.
I don't want to forget to living.
Yeah. Uh,
And clear, let's say it's a chance that you can do that what you like to do. Not every man or woman can do that.
mhm.
That's the other thing.
Yeah.
I'm lucky that I couldn't do that. I could
Yeah.
do that for years. And it's 40 years now that I started. And I learned today a lot of people know that in the past I never thought that I ever can come in touch with people like that.
Mhm.
So that's why I'm not a distributor that normally distributed, because the normal distributor, they take something and they're reselling. They pay and they're reselling.
Mhm.
I try to do my best for myself, and I hope the distributor like to do selling.
Mhm.
That's maybe the difference. I don't know.
Yeah. No, it's very cool. Hey everyone, it's Carly. So, if this conversation is really hitting home and you want to get a real snapshot of what's working and what's not in your business, head on over to my website in the tools and tips section and you can have the business performance health check. In just about 15 minutes, you're going to see where the friction is and where your next growth opportunity lies within your company. And I'm curious too, because I know we talked a little bit before about how it sounds like right now, mainly whenever you're doing all the back end work, right? So I know you're taking it off the 35 millimeter film. Some of you have the high quality, you're adding the subtitles when they're going into these different languages, or potentially like voiceovers, the graphic art. So it sounds like right now you're doing independent contractors. Is that how it's always been? Or did you have staff before when you were doing it more? So back in the day, it was like full time staff
When I
as the
started,
company. Mhm,
when I starting with let's say licensing distribution.
mhm,
When I buy something and I sell it to somebody, I distribute too. It's also distribution. So when I got the films in the past, I already have the finished product,
mhm,
and I don't make my product. I resell to somebody the possibility to do his VGS. I was never involved in the VGS
mhm,
in the past. So I get the movie from somebody, from a company. I brought it to a video store and said, look, this is all my films. You like to have it? You pay this amount and you can produce VGS. I was out.
mhm,
Simple and easy.
hmm,
Today, the difference is clear. Uh, when I restart, you know, in 2015 was the same, only that we had somebody that we had the company together, that he made that. So I have also influenced what he do. That was the difference.
mhm.
Today, what you say about the 35 millimeter is a totally different.
Ah, okay.
That's totally different. Because clear, that's clear to say that, but this has have to do with your dad.
Hmm,
At PM. I was fan of that company all the time. And 2 years ago, I had the idea to bring back these movies in a digital world, because none of the films was clear in digital in DVD. But
Mhm.
when I talk from digital today, I mean it's a Blu-ray in a high range quality. And that is totally different now, the distribution, because I have a deal with a big company. They give me the 35 millimeter, what your dad have shot. Maybe he have shot a lot of movies. Then I take the 35 millimeters. I go to the studio Munich, and they restoring the movie for me. So the circle is different. Before I made it for money to make a business with somebody else, and now I do the circle with myself and somebody on the end sell my product. But we
Mm.
start on the beginning until the end. We control everything. Only not shooting of the movie, that's different. But everything what we do ourselves at the moment.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, that's very cool. It's interesting too because it's I mean, I feel like we're talking it's crazy. It's like you said, so much goes into these movies. We're talking about this small part of it that is taking so long in a sense. Like there's so much work in this one little part of this greater, grander scheme of a film, which is quite incredible. Like we're talking about one tiny little part, just even a portion of how it gets to us, that it's hard to even understand the scope and the magnitude of a film.
and,
You realize.
and this is you can make a job because you have earned money,
Yeah.
and you can make a job or you decide to make a job because you love it. And I think to love what you do,
Mhm.
that you do then with your heart, with your every force you have, and you not are you don't have a problem when you work on Saturday and Sunday or you have less time because you do it for yourself.
Yeah.
That's the difference, I think. And to say the truth is, I never could make a distribution. This is too stressful for me. So thank God, is companies that do that for us.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm curious as well, like when you think about just the lessons that you've learned doing kind of this niche dynamic of collectors' pieces versus mass market, what was it that made the mass market dynamic so much more challenging? Because you mentioned that you burnt out as a result.
Mhm. You
Mhm.
know, on the beginning, the mass was because everybody, we have to start in the VGS. Everybody want to have a player was $2,000
Mhm.
dollars or something like that, or $1,500. Today you get it for 50.
Yeah. It's a
You
big
know.
difference. Yeah.
Yeah. So on the beginning, this was something for people that have money to buy a player.
Yeah.
Oh, the sales was not huge. That's why the price was high.
Hmm.
Then came the mass. So then it's coming the recorders like $200, and everybody can buy a player. And the mass today is changing a little bit because I don't know what the economy is in America really, but the people work for less of money.
Mhm.
We have people that they have no jobs. But interesting was in the period of VGS, when the people have no jobs, what
Mhm.
they do, they go in the video store and watching movie the whole days. Today,
Yeah.
that's not the same anymore. Today, the value of this possibility have changed. So also the big mass you can make only with what we call major movie, like the big ones, like the Avengers or Batman or all this one. And all the others, the B movies, this, if you have luck, you
Mm.
found a movie that is cool, that the people like, and then you make the money on it. But the difference is to say to you what is the difference of the mass and now. What's happened is for me, for myself, is I don't do it for my living.
Mhm.
I have my retirement. So what the hell I do the whole day when I'm retired? I don't fishing. I have a motorcycle, yes. But in the winter, what I do? I cannot go with the motorcycle even fishing. So I do it as passion, not for making money. I get my from my state, my money, and I don't need that to earn money. And this is maybe the changing for young people when they start to work. They have to work to come in a way to build up the family, be
Mhm.
successful, And now this is all gone. That's
Mhm.
all. I'm happy that I have the distributor. I don't have to care on it.
Mhm.
Sometimes I have stress with the production, but I can handle that,
Mhm.
you know. So and also the community, also the audience, the mass is not anymore the same that 5, 6 years ago.
Mhm.
So the major sales are broke down also here in Europe. So you don't sell the units like you did it for 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So then when you can imagine when you are a young company and you have to earn money, that's really hard
Mhm.
because you cannot sell. And also it's hard to get a good movie because
Mhm.
the classics, almost the people have made already,
Yeah.
you know. But it's similar like the music. Sometimes in the music coming up new stars, they make one disc and they disappear.
Yeah.
Because it's really a hard business. But movie making is the hard business. That's what we do. This is like
Small portion.
nothing.
I
I have
love it.
a lot of respect what Joseph and your father did, what they did in the 90s.
Yeah.
They was huge what they did.
Yeah.
Nobody today when you talk with people, wow, what they did in the 90s, nobody did. And this is a respect to have some people like that and you can work with them. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So that is when you earn $100, I think this is the $200 part.
Yeah.
People like that. It's not a value, it's something that you cannot say, that has have to do with how much money you have on the end of the month.
Mhm.
On the end of the month, you have to pay your bills, that's it.
I think that's cool too because it's like it's one of the gifts of when you do well in your business, you can and I've seen this with multiple people where they transition how they're functioning within their companies and they just start doing the things that they love. And that's when I think about financial wealth, you do a lot of things with financial wealth, but one of the biggest things that you could do is you could buy yourself like this time and this freedom,
Yeah.
so it's cool. And it sounds like you've had the opportunity through building Multimedia Ulrich to now have Focus Media where it's this different dynamic of you getting to be this restorer, this creator, something it sounds like you've really wanted to do for a long time, just from
Yeah.
having that successful company in the
Yeah.
past.
Yeah, in the past, I was more successful than today
Yeah.
because I made a different job.
Yeah.
But always on this part, also I made it for myself. So the distribution, the film to another company that made the VHS,
Mhm.
I had, come on, I have big movies. I had 200 movies
Mhm.
in the past. I had a lot of known films that was huge in cinema, like Running Man, Cujo, Creepshow, and all this thing. And today I don't have these movies anymore,
Mhm.
but I have little ones,
Yeah.
and I care them like they are the big ones,
Yeah.
you know. And I feel my son, that is changing everywhere. I think on the world, the young people have understand money making is something that you have to do for living.
Mhm.
It's in part that you have to living.
Yeah,
If
and
you
it's
forgot to
important.
living, one day you get a burnout and you cannot earn money anymore.
Yeah, yeah. Our physical body only goes so far, so long. That's a fact.
You see,
So
why to say no, I'm not a distributor.
yeah.
I don't see me as a distributor. I see me as a movie lover that want to share this with other people, and I have my connections that I can do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, that's maybe to explain what I do.
Yeah. Oh, it's amazing. Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate you doing this today, and I really appreciate
I
you.
hope you get that what you want.
I did. I think I got something different than I expected. And I think what we got to hear about today, I think something that's really cool is I really love how you innovated within basically a dying industry. Like you had the opportunity to innovate within this dying industry and kind of move from this mass market dynamic to understanding collectors in this niche and giving them something that is really important and valuable to them in this very special way. So I think that's one really cool thing, but also just to make sure, and this is so important for everyone to remember, it's really important to do what you love. It's really important to love what you do. If you don't have the opportunity, I would just keep asking the question how I could make the opportunity, as it's that valuable. You're right. It's the wealth that you create from being able to engage daily in those things that are fulfilling to you is a wealth that's hard to describe until people experience it. Yeah. And it's worth working at, that's for sure.
I'm ho-
Yeah.
what I- I'm hoping that you are happy with that what we're talking about.
Mhm.
Maybe it's a little bit different
It is.
because it was a jump in the water for you like me.
Yeah.
Talk about because normally I don't talk about with people about what we do.
Yeah.
This is something that I don't really want to because I do it and finish.
Yeah.
Uh, but I respect that, and I hope I can give you some ideas what's going on, how it's working, the mechanism of the distribution. There are different ways, It's a different. A movie is something really, really special and difficult.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. And let everyone know too where they could find your website so they could understand and see all the movies that you have to
Yes.
offer.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is something new, what I did 4 or 5 months ago. Then I made the web shop that the fans can buy it directly from us, whole world. Now we
Yeah.
sell the whole world. And that is also something interesting, that makes fun. This is really something exciting.
That's cool. That's very cool. And I'll put the links in the show notes too so everyone can go direct to the website. And thank you again for this. I really appreciate having you on and I appreciate
What
everything you
you want
shared.
and you're happy. That is for me important that you are happy.
Yes.